morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. It's Larry Benedict, Thomas Maples behind me, TD, touchdown, and Eric Shamalov in the corner right. Here we go. 10 up days in a row, my young son. Bull market. Somehow, today is mystifying. Out of all of the days, you had no up movement in Asia. Okay, zero. Kind of flat across the board to a little bit lower. And then the DAX, which, I pointed out is down 200 points almost. Okay, which is close to 1%. Hasn't rallied. You know what? The most amazing move, I think, and I'm going to have TD, my crack analyst, run this later. The DAX was up 25% at one point this year, and when that was, the Nasdaq was down 30% for the year. It wasn't only in a bear market, it was in a grisly bear market. Now that is up 17% for the year, up 47% in Qs off the low, and the DAX is almost 7% lower. So you've had over a 50% move in there, and it's it's pretty amazing that this keeps chugging along. Doesn't matter if bonds are down, doesn't matter if bonds are up, doesn't matter, if gold is up, which it's up every day, or down. None of it matters. So I'm thinking, um, you know, that it's just a blatant disregard and a relocation before, the Fed guy takes to the mic tomorrow and basically, what do they say, shatters dreams of 18 interest rate cuts to zero. But, um, that's, that's what I'm seeing. And just very, very tough trade. Slow days. I'll tell you an interesting trade that I did for the subscribers and people that were lucky enough to buy our quad witching product, which we had a webinar for it, and we bought. This is a crazy one. We bought put options way out of the money in the SPX, and that's for our quad witching product that goes out when all three futures and options expire in the morning. And I would tell you that the market barely went down. Okay, and we bought these options at $3.20, barely went down, and we sold them between 450 and 480. So we made like a 35-40% gain, and the market actually went up. So I mean, I feel very, very lucky that that happened, and I'm glad that we got in and out and were able to make the subscribers money on what I think is my best product. But what was amazing is these puts were 63.95s. They are 200 points out of the money, and the options were exploding yesterday. Nobody had put coverage. They had to buy vol, and listen, the market just will not go down, no matter literally what. This is 10 up days in a row. We've had one down day on the month, the first day of the month. Um, Kind of reminds me of July of 1987. And in July of 1987, we had 18 up days in basically a month. I don't remember if it was in a row. And then 2 months later, the market crashed. I'm not saying that, but it just seems to me that there's a blatant disregard for risk. You got the Fed coming tomorrow. People want to buy more. I mean, they don't even want to take pro- profit taking isn't even anything that anybody thinks about here. There is no profit taking. Like I say this all the time. If someone was long Nvidia right now and it's trading at 175, and I told them they could sell the stock at 250 today, but they can't be in it for 3 years, you know how many people would take that deal? No one, because they think this that stock is going to double, triple, quadruple, like that. That's the amazing part of this move. Like, if you really look at it, yesterday Trump came out and he said that he doesn't want companies to report quarterly earnings. Let me tell you what, that would like ruin Jane Street's earnings and Citadel's earnings. They need that stuff to jam up or jam down the market. So without those earnings, they're not going to get that, crazy movement. And what's amazing to me still is the move in Oracle, which is in the top 10 biggest companies and probably top five or six now in the world. And it moved 32% in one day off of a quarterly number. A quarterly number. I mean, doesn't that freak you out? A quarterly number can move a stock 32% because it did good for the quarter, or they said they had orders. I mean, that doesn't freak you out that they can move $1 trillion stock 32%, add $300 billion to the stock in one day, which is
Yeah.
more than 90% of the S&P.
What, what would freak me out? What freaked me out more was the reason it went up. It was on back of the envelope kind of stuff. So
What, that people put fake orders in 2 years out for AI that they don't even know if they're going to be in business
it's just
yet?
back of the envelope kind of stuff, and the market. Hey, Oracle is up another 6% pre-market here because they think they're going to be involved in the TikTok deal.
Oh,
So it
okay.
continues. Any headline's going to get you right now over the last 2 weeks. Any headline gets you about 5 to 10% minimum if you're an AI stock.
Listen, I don't have TikTok, so I don't understand it, and I don't know why it's worth so much money. I watch my kids watch it and my wife, and it gives me a headache. It's like a bunch of people dancing. Like, I don't I don't know, or putting on makeup or clothes. I mean, I don't know. That's the new $1 trillion business, multi-trillion. I think we're in a little weird shape, but
You mentioned in 1987 there was like 18 days in a row before the big crash.
I don't think
I
it was
don't,
in a row. I don't think it was in a row. It may have been, but
but close together, kind of similar to what we had in the last 10 days. That's not the only like every the market goes through this sometimes, and there always seems to be a big letdown once the streak is over. Like it reminds you of '87. It reminds me of January 2018. Also, the market would relentlessly go up and then a drop. It happens throughout time. They get the momentum take goes to like another level.
and people want insatiable moves. Like I got a call before the podcast. A guy's like, yeah, there's two big numbers. The numbers are meaningless. It doesn't matter. The market's just going up no matter what the number is. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if the DAX is down 200 today. It doesn't matter that the Nikkei's no good. It doesn't matter that the long bond is down 10 ticks. None of that matters. Nothing matters. It's a market that's not looking at anything. Okay. I'm just surprised myself that the market is fearless going into the Fed, fearless, like beyond fearless. And they're thinking no
Well,
matter
here's a good example of that fearless. This is the trading the the hedge fund positions for VIX futures in the commitment of traders report. I mean, take a look at that. This is where we're at. We're at a almost 5 year low. The last time we were at these levels was back in early 2021. So you mentioned how you guys bought puts 200 points out of the money that went up today. Volatility was kind of going
yesterday,
up
yesterday,
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Volatility was kind of going up yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I wouldn't expect to make 40% on a put option that didn't the future went down nothing. It literally barely went down. And it was going, we bought it for our customers. Our customers bought about 2,000 contracts, maybe a little more. And I'm glad they got in on it. And literally, I kept turning to Thomas and I was like, you know, where are the options? And he's like, 3.5 bid. I'm like, how the hell could they be 3.5 bid? The futures are rallying. Then the futures came in a little, is 370, $4, 420. And then the future had a little bit of a hiccup for a split second until the hockey goalies came in right away. They skated like 8 men on the ice for that one. And,
You
and,
were probably you were probably yelling at Thomas that he had the wrong information.
I did. No, actually, but wait, that wouldn't
Did
be
I get
anything
that
out of the
right?
ordinary.
Thomas, did I get that right? Yeah, I got that right. I got that
That
right. I
wouldn't be
got
out of the ordinary, but it was the right strike, and it's weird to me. And then all of a sudden, later in the day, they came off that put. Where did that put go out? It probably went out in the twos. I mean, that thing is a zero. I mean, unless they crater the market, which is possible. I mean, I'm just surprised literally today that there's no profit taking, no fear. Nobody wants to get. I'm telling you that this reminds me of my kids when they were young, like where you would tell them something and they probably still think this of me, but that I'm an idiot and they didn't listen to anything. And it's like the same thing. Like they don't think they can lose money. And it's funny when things are going like this, people are opening their statement, their account right away in the morning. They're not even sleeping. They're getting up at like 5 to look at how much money they have. But I'm surprised that, after 10 straight up days, that there's no profit taking. And then on top of that, you've had a really bad Europe. I mean, I know Europe doesn't matter, nothing matters, but at some point, all this stuff matters, and, Europe.
Right. At some point. So what do you do, like from a trading point of view? Um, what do you do when you're like super bearish, right? The market keeps working against that thought. How do you manage your book? How do you manage
Not
your
not that not that well recently, but overall, do cap, I do very different stuff than you. You're selling some in the money spread, which does not, I don't like that strategy. It doesn't work over time. But depending on,
disagree with you? But okay, go ahead.
okay, disagree with me, dude. I've been trading them longer than you've been alive. You don't
Okay,
make money on that spread. So,
I've
like,
been
you're
making.
short an in the money spread right now. The only way you're making money is if
Hey,
the market.
I've been making a lot on those spreads, so I'll share that with you if you'd like. I don't
Yeah,
know.
put it
You
up, dude.
yourself,
Dude,
you
you're
yourself
like
do those
everyone else.
spreads all
I
the
know
time.
you're making money. Show it. Show all the spreads that you've done. It's a
Okay,
very tough way, a
not a
very
problem.
tough way to live. Very tough way to live to sell in the money spreads. You know, I would
But the
sell. I would
risk
sell in
reward
at
it
the money.
makes sense sometimes, doesn't it?
Not in this kind of tape, but yes, if the market is going down a lot, yes.
No,
I
I
don't
think
like. You're
specifically in this
selling like
time frame.
$3 spreads. I like to sell $18 spreads, $20 spreads that are trading at $18, and then when the market comes in, you can capitalize on that kind of spread. That I like. But these spreads that you're looking at don't have any decay until the very middle to end of the day. So, I mean, if we open down $20 today, your $3.5 in the money spread that you sold would be 2.5. I'm just telling you.
That's
So,
completely.
but later in the day, it'll come in.
Yesterday, all it took, no, so yesterday, all it took was a 5 point tick down,
Dude,
not
that
at
was
the end
a
of
couple of
the
days
day.
ago. We didn't
Nah,
get a
hold up,
five
hold
tick
up, hold
down
up. No,
yesterday.
it's not true, Larry. It's not. You're incorrect.
Okay.
It took a 5 point hit in the market, and the thing like was cut in half. The credit was cut in half.
Dude, that had to be really late in the day.
No, it wasn't. It was
Okay,
not.
it
It
was early in the day. It cut it in half.
wasn't early in
Right.
the day.
And
It
then
was
wait, it went fully in the money by like $20. Whatever you say, dude. Whatever.
when
I'm
volatility
gonna
is
agree
low.
with you. You're
I that's
100%
what
right.
I go to. I actually, when volatility is low, I start getting a little bit more closer to the money in the money.
Yeah, but
Uh, and
volatility is actually was not low yesterday. It was actually very inherently high compared to where we were. We were running at 15 plus yesterday, okay, for options for yesterday at one point in the day, and most of the week we've been running a 5 volatility. So vol was actually up yesterday. That's why we were able to make money on that spread. So, vol came in. Where are those puts that I asked?
They went out at 3.7.
Oh, they still went out at 3.7. These puts. I don't know where they're going to be today, dude. This you want free money? 63.95s.
275 by 295.
They're $3 right now. Okay, they're almost. How many points out of the money? 200 and something.
Yeah, 220.
220 out of the money, over 5% for 3 days, or $3. That's pretty high, dude. No, that's not a lot.
Yeah, that seems. So what would you do here? You'd sell those?
You can't sell them because everything around it's the same price, so you can't sell that. You can't
There's
sell
no.
them. Can't sell them naked. I mean, you can, but it's it's a risky trade. But vol out there is up pretty good. I mean, it's
Well, back to the question. Like, so when you have like an outlook on the market, a very kind of entrenched outlook, how do you manage your book not to? Because we could all be wrong, right? In macro, I think
well, you just do
back
spreads,
people
and
right
we're
maybe 50%
just
of the
bleeding.
time.
We're just bleeding out by our spreads going in the money. But like when you say you're doing these in the money, like I actually have some in the money spreads. They don't work. They're just garbage. They're the worst. They just literally pretty much go to max loss. I don't know how
Yeah,
you were able.
last 10 days because the market has taken on like
I know,
has.
but you're saying over the last couple of days you've been doing them and making money, and I'm doing them, and you can ask the guy
No,
behind
not
me.
over
They're
the
not
last
making
couple
money.
of days. Over the last few months. I mean, that's what I've been doing.
Oh, you said you did it yesterday or something. I'm
I
like,
did it yesterday. I didn't make on it yesterday because it didn't work.
right. But I thought that's what you said, that it did work, and I was like, I don't know how the
I
hell.
just didn't take a profit because I was going for the whole thing. I wanted the whole thing.
Mhm.
I wanted to get the full credit. But you could, if theoretically, if I wanted to, like, how much premium is good? Like, is a target for you on a daily basis?
I
Five,
don't.
five
Nothing.
Bitcoin.
I don't know. I have spreads all over the place. I don't really want to discuss on the air. I have $17 spreads that are 20. I have $9 spreads that are 20. I have an $8 spread, just bad, positions that aren't good, but we're taking them to game time tomorrow, my friend, where the game will be played and the game will be on tomorrow. Game on. So
Game
let
will
him
be on.
take it 11 days up into this guy who's going to cut a quarter. You were saying on the podcast, he's cutting, people think he's cutting a half, blah, blah, blah. He's cutting a quarter. Okay. And then we'll see what comes from that.
No,
That's
well, there's a four. There's actually last time I checked, there's a 4%. The market is pricing in a 4% chance of 50 basis points. So yeah, there are some people that think that.
well, that's like playing lotto. 4% doesn't sound like it's really good betting odds, but I just think that the market. Let me ask you this: You're the governor. You're the head of the Fed right now. I gave you the job. You're the man right now. You're in the meeting, and you got to be looking at the froth in the market. I mean, you just have to be. You can't not address that. So you got a stock market that's insatiably going up for because they're going to cut maybe 3 times a quarter point, okay, and take us down to 3.5, okay, which is inherently low over history. But the stock market was 2,000 points lower than this. The S&P with rates at zero. So how can you equate a six? I can't even say the number, a 6,700 S&P. This is higher than every single human being's target. okay, for the year by a lot. And what was funny is the S&P traded 4,800. It's up 2,000 points off the low. 2,000 points in 4 months. And better than that, when we made the low at 4,800, every firm on Wall Street was lowering their numbers. They couldn't lower them fast enough, right? And now they're so beyond the eight ball, they're spun up. So I don't know. I'm surprised at today's action being higher with looking at, bonds not doing anything. Yields are 405. They tick 390, 399. I mean, what's going to happen here? He's going to cut rates a quarter, and the 10-year note is going to potentially still be above 4%. I mean, it could go even higher, get a steepening trade. So what is that doing? That doesn't help mortgage rates, right? I mean, it doesn't really help lending. It helps lending on the short end, but quarter point doesn't do much. So I just think the market, and I've been saying it for a while, so I feel like an idiot, but the market is so extremely ahead of itself that it's not to be believed. And if you look at the S&P futures up like $80 this week. But what I discussed before with you, before it was actually last night, it wasn't before we got on the air, but market's up 10 days in a row. You know what the S&P is up? 2%, 2.4% for the month. They could wipe that in one word tomorrow. Wipe that and crush this thing. And I'm just surprised that the market is so stable. You're not surprised how stable the market is? And it's Nasdaq day after day after day. Nasdaq. Wait, like you said, they'll buy Oracle today or Broadcom or one of these crazy things up, 10%. I don't know. It just seems like the market is you know, so willing to take big risks. So we got the big Fed meeting. Today, bonds are down across the board. The euro, we haven't talked about it. I'm about to get stopped out soon on my euro trade. I know you were in it. I don't know if you're still in it or whatever, but we're at 118. The US dollar is getting smashed. I mean, smashed. It started the year at 103. I mean, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They just want to buy US tech stocks. That's it. They don't care about where the dollar is. They don't care about bond market. They don't care about oil. They don't care about gold. They don't care about any foreign market. It's wild. And when they turn the Jane Street switch off, when Jane Street turns the switch off, there won't be one buyer. I'm just telling you. They'll buy that dip. It'll run through them like water, But right now, we're getting set for the Fed meeting. No, I would just say, honestly, no fear market. Market has no fear going into the meeting. I have a little fear because I just think that there is such an insatiable appetite here for risk that it's actually kind of scary. I don't know if it scares you, but it's kind of scary. And guess what? The Dow
It slightly reminds me of last December before the Fed meeting, ever so slightly. Things were extremely complacent. Nasdaq was going up multiple days in a row.
dude, that's when you turn white. Dude, you literally turned white that day. Remember that day?
I turned white that day.
Because we went what do you call it? Standard deviations? I don't know what you call it.
I didn't come up with the term.
Four sigmas, a buzzword. Only someone up 40 or under could say 4 sigmas. we did a 4 sigma move, dog.
It's funny. You and I would talk. You told me stories about the pit, and you're like, the pit is like the only place where you have a PhD level guy, right, and a complete degenerate standing side by side.
Saw it every day, dude. Saw it every day.
So the PhD goes to the degenerate like 1 sigma, 2 sigma, while the degenerate's like doing a line of coke or something.
Yeah.
Right?
But wait, that degenerate or that guy that didn't graduate high school, I'd rather have that guy trading. Now those guys that we had a program. We only hired Ivy League guys to trade in the pit. I don't know if it
Oh,
was.
they can't trade Ivy
I'm
League
just
guys.
saying. Yeah, but okay, they can't trade. You just said it. They can't trade well,
Yeah,
but they can
PhD
program. Listen to me. They can program a computer to scam a bunch of orders, and basically have that
that
advantage. But to sit in the pit as a regular person, they can't do it. But Jane Street or all these firms programming these computers to scam people out of their money, that's fine, and they can make fortunes like that because the people trading today don't even get it, dude. Like, my mother puts an order into Charles Schwab. That order goes to Citadel or Jane Street. They're front running that order. My mother's like, I pay no commission. I'm like, Mom, but you're
By the way,
trading.
what's your mom buying? I want
My
to
mom's
track.
buying Bitcoin. My mom's buying
Let me
Bitcoin.
write
She's buying
this.
she's actually buying nothing, thank God, but
Yeah,
she
because of
wants
you.
to. She wants to because all her here's the weird part. So,
That's what I'm saying. Like, follow that. Like, it's gonna go up.
I dude, okay. That
What
that
else is she buying? I want to know the stocks she's
No,
buying.
my mother's not buying anything. My
Yeah,
mother
good
my
for you.
mother
Leave her
has
alone. Let her do her thing.
No, but can I explain to you? This is what is out there. You have people that have retired with not enough money that are in Bitcoin and are in Nvidia and are in all these rah-rah stocks because they can't live on a fixed income at 3.5%, 4%. They can't do it. So they have to take 80-year-olds. We have a lot of subscribers that are in their 80s that trade with me every single day, and we're doing well. But depending on, a lot of those people are very successful people that are looking to supplement their income, but they're being guided by someone that has, caution and fear. It's a lot different. Like this market, is I'm telling you, it's run by people that want to they're looking for the next scam stock or how they could front run an order or, get in a chat. The greatest thing in these chat rooms, there's like a million people in a chat room going, GCC, buy it. And they're all running in buying it. And it's the last man standing that gets caught. But that's what's going on here. Everybody's in a chat room. Everybody's buying stocks. Now, let me ask you a question. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this wasn't prevalent the way it is today. So what does that say to you? Isn't that a little bit scary? No?
What exactly isn't prevalent?
That people are zillions of people are in chat rooms all over the place getting advice and running up stocks all together. They're all a team.
What
It's like
about
I went to the I went
that
to
movie Boiler Room from like back in the late '90s or something? I mean, wasn't that part of the trading culture for decades?
no, that was bringing public
I remember the
that,
late '90s. I wasn't even a trader. I was in high school, but I remember this kind of activity back then too.
well, but now it's 100 times easier. Back then, you had to pick up a phone and get a bunch of people. Now you got 5,000 people sitting in a chat room, talking about this stock and this fake news and that fake news. And I know, a lot of guys that put out the news for people and hope they trade it, so that they could flip and dip, we call it. They buy it, put it out there for people, and then they sell. It's actually, I believe, like a classic pump and dump, even though, it's bordering on, I don't know if it's legal or not legal, but they don't, there's, not doing anything about it. But, the
It's
market,
legal, 100%. If Congress people can buy stocks, then this is legal too.
okay, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why people are so focused on, people in Congress trading. They shouldn't be, but I know Nancy Pelosi killed it. She made $30 million. Like she needs the money. She's like 92 years old. They still think she's trading. They're like, oh yeah, Pelosi bought this. They're like,
Probably doing your credit spreads. She's a subscriber,
no,
probably.
right, she's a subscriber. And then the better part is now I had a friend tell me about this, and they're like, yeah, it's her husband. I'm like, her husband was like beaten to hell. He can't even speak, but he's sitting there trading stocks like it matters. The guy's 90. I mean, come on, Eric. It's ridiculous. It's probably like a fake service saying they have Nancy Pelosi's live trading. I mean, come on. Crazy stuff. But anyway, the stuff we're talking about, it's just it adds to it just adds to the froth. It adds to the business. It's just literally, honestly, I'm going to use this word. It's gross. It's actually gross. And I would warn people, you know, hopefully everybody's doing well and making money, but I've lived through a lot of these, okay? This one's a little bit different because it's algorithmic, run by a bunch of companies. And, the companies are all fine buying. You know why they're fine buying? Because they know someone's coming in behind them. What is that old thing like? It's like musical chairs. If someone's, still
Trader,
dancing
trader.
and you got a seat, you're good. So I'm shocked that the market is so complacent going into this on 10 straight up days in Nasdaq. Oh, guess what? The Dow's down again today. Surprise. I mean, it's crazy. When is this going to end? When are we going to get a real market that trades where you got all indexes up or all indexes down? And I'm telling you, up until a couple of years ago, every day these indexes were within 10 basis points of each other, all of them. Now you can see the Dow down 200 today, the Nasdaq up 100, the S&P flat.
So as long as the indices are in sync, you're cool. Like even though it's gonna go up, you'll be okay with that.
More okay, sure. I mean, I just don't understand why they select. Listen, you can
Yeah,
move
no,
in.
it's also it's very strange. I have to admit, it's very I don't know the right word to use, but it feels fake. It feels fake, and the sequence of events this month, when you kind of combine them together, you look at them individually, and then you look at their effect on the broader the broader market and the level that these indices have attained from these random news events. It feels fake. It feels um, it feels. I think that's the
Well,
word.
the reason why Nasdaq is able to outperform significantly, okay, is simple. They just need to buy Oracle up 10% in a day, and they can do it. And they can do it. They have no issue doing it. And the thing is, nobody in their right mind can buy Oracle or Meta. They're too expensive. All of them are, but they don't buy them. They buy options. So they buy zillions of options. They force the market makers to run and cover, kind of like a GameStop scenario, and that's how they get the market going. They could get the market going by buying way out of the money options. Like, if you remember GameStop, that's how this clown Hello Kitty made his money. He was buying like 50-cent options that went to like $100. He controlled millions of GameStop shares by putting up no money. So it's the same thing now. These zero DTEs, these weekly options are giving access to everybody for as little as $50. You could buy an option for $50, 50 cents, and you're in the game, and you're controlling 100 shares of stock if it happens to get there. And, there's a million orders that come in like this. They listen. These S&P options are trading like 10 million a day. When I traded on the floor, like the volume on all exchanges was like 20 grand or 30 grand. I mean, nobody traded like that. I don't even know where the money is coming from to buy all of these options. But I think you have a lot of gamesmanship there. And it's just it's the same trade. I mean, I don't know if you see the DAX, but it was down about 180 a minute ago. I guess no one cares. No one cares about anything. They don't care about the bond market. Yield curve, is
What should they focus on in the bond market? It's been kind of in their favor.
dude. Rates are still 4%. They're not zero. They're acting like rates are zero, Eric, where we had free money for 8 years. The market never acted this good. Interest rates were people got to buy houses for 1.5% on a 10-year. Okay. I mean, come on. And the market didn't act like
You
that.
actually mentioned real estate here because I kind of look at this whole economy. It's like you have your real estate economy, and maybe that part of the economy is weak, maybe in recession. Then you have your AI trade, which this month it's been all the AI trade. That's what's been propelling the market up. But do you think the AI trade really cares about interest rates at all? I mean, yeah, rates are going to be important for the consumer. They're going to be important for the real estate market, but they're not really like these companies aren't investing in data warehouses based on whether 30-year yield is at 5 or 4 or 7. It doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters at all. But I also don't think it matters to equities. None of it matters. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying, I was just equating to the fact that people are running around saying it's so amazing that he may cut 3 times this year, a quarter point each time, which isn't a lot. Okay. And they're going crazy how amazing that is. And that will take the 10-year probably to 380, 390. Okay. It'll take the Fed funds to 3.5, 3/4. I mean, I don't know. Is that where we were? Is that anything like we were when we had free money for years and years and years? And then the better question to ask yourself is it is it good that they're cutting rates aggressively into a rip roaring market, which doesn't make sense unless there's an underlying massive weakness coming somewhere that nobody can see or is starting to see?
Well, Besson's thing is that AI is going to create such productivity gains, not in the long term. Like literally, he thinks in the first quarter of 2026, we're going to
Eric,
start to see those
Eric,
productivity.
this
And as a
shows.
result, the Fed should cut rates. And he cites Alan Greenspan as an example where he saw the productivity gains of the internet and wound up cutting rates in the mid 90s as the market was at an all time high.
Oh, you think that's what he's seeing, dude? Honestly,
That's what he's saying. That's
I
what
have
he's
been. You
saying.
know what? I think I got to get a little Stephen A. on you. Okay. I mean, what are you
On
talking
me,
about?
I'm
I mean,
telling you, Besson's
I'm telling you that this. I'm actually insulted with that last comment. This guy has 1.5 feet out the door. Okay. He's leaving in less than 6 months. He's not thinking anything. Okay. He's out
I
of there.
didn't say
He,
Powell. I
he,
didn't
you
say
know what?
Powell.
He's
Besson.
hoping by doing this cut that he can last the next 5 months. Okay. That's what he's hoping. Okay. He's not thinking any of that. He is not here long enough to make any decisions on any of that. But what I will tell you is
I'm
think
not
about.
talking about Powell. I was talking about Bessent.
Well, so what? What is Beth? No,
That's his
you're
view. I'm just
quoting it.
talking about
You were
using.
quoting it to Powell, and you started talking about Alan Green, not Alan Greenspan or whatever. I mean, come on, dude. Listen, I'll just say this, and we'll get close to closing, get people ready for the day. I would say this. I was there intimately in 1999, okay, and 2000 and 2001, okay? And I'll tell you this, okay? What was the greatest invention pretty much of all time? Okay?
The printing press?
No.
No.
The internet. The internet was the greatest thing of all time, okay? Of all time. But yet it blew up the market. And the same thing is going to eventually happen in AI. Okay. AI is going to be an unbelievable. We're in day one of this. We're not even like in inning two. Like they keep talking about they have this, they have that. They don't have any of it yet. But we're in early days here. Okay. But AI, like you just said, it's gonna, hurt productivity, it's gonna hurt jobs, make everyone more productive, everything more productive. We don't really know that yet, but I would say that this is gonna cause the next blow up in the market. It's gonna cause the next blow up. I don't know how or what it's gonna be, but it's definitely gonna be written in time. Listen, the internet is literally the greatest invention of all time. Nothing even comes close. It is unbelievable. Everyone uses it every day. It's integral in people's lives, but yet it blew up the market. And Nasdaq, you know how much Nasdaq went down? 80 over 80%. Okay? Same thing is going to happen here, but a little bit differently. And the forces that be are doing this different this time. So what they're able to do in the internet, it was speculative. You were betting on the companies that you thought would be the next great, XYZ, Google. Okay. And none of it panned out. Here, what they're doing is they're not betting. I mean, they have, all these different AI companies and all these different things people are speculating in, but the backbone is real companies that do other businesses that they think are going, like you said with Oracle. Listen, all the orders Oracle posted are placeholders. They don't actually have those orders. So the bottom line is the question will be down the road, whether it's a year, 2 years, whenever it is, are these orders or are these companies, is OpenAI, like, listen, I think OpenAI is the customer to everyone here, and I don't even think it's real. I think they're the $10 billion Broadcom customer. They're in NVIDIA, they're using Oracle, okay, but they're all over. But what if that company doesn't work? What if it doesn't do near as well as what they think? Dude, they'll be scrambling to get out of everything that they put on the tape. And that's why I don't think you could count. How are you counting an AI orders out 2 years? How do you know? The market is in a position where there's no liquidity. We've discussed this many, many times on this podcast. You have NVIDIA with 25 billion shares and you can't get a 10,000 up market. You cannot. It doesn't exist. And the reason why is because nobody's selling, and the people that own the stock, the Vanguards, the BlackRocks, they're never selling. They're index. So most of that buying is index buying. So I think the story hasn't been written yet. It's going to be very interesting to see. And, you know, I'm excited for the Fed meeting because at least then, if this move is fully real for whatever reason, you'll get a better idea tomorrow. But again, I'm just surprised there is no profit taking on the 10th straight up day in Nasdaq. And during those 10 straight up days, the Dow's been down like five of the 10 days. So what's going to happen? As soon as they get out of tech, they're going to buy the Dow. Is that what's going on here?
You know that's exactly what will happen if the market will go down.
But how, like you said, it's
Why
not
does it
long.
need to happen? I think part of all this is you say it all the time. The market is run by these quant guys, right? These young guys out of MIT and stuff. And what do they have now that they didn't have before? They have access to data. They have
No,
AI.
Eric, this is all, listen to me. Listen to me. These algos, I talked about it. I'm coming out with a really good podcast tomorrow with a gentleman, which I'll discuss when it comes out, when it drops tomorrow. And I was explaining to him, there's quant models or whatever, and then you're talking about AI is front running, dude. That's all AI is, just machinery built to front run orders, and that's all over the market right now. All they're doing is looking to sniff out orders. I could show it to you live how they do it, but That,
I see.
so
I see
what are
exactly.
you talking about? Like Jane Street says they're quant, but they're really not quant. They're algorithmic front runners that basically can net aggregate positions, can see through flow. I don't really want to get into it because we're really late in the podcast, but the inherent advantage is incredible that they have. It's just incredible. That's why Virtu Jane. Okay, let me ask you this. How many losing days do you think Virtu's had in the last 3 years?
Tell me.
Zero. Zero. So
Pretty
is
good.
that quant? Tell me how
Good
quant's
idea.
got to be wrong once, right?
Listen, you go on streaks with credit spreads. I as well. We
Eric,
know
Eric,
where
stop,
we hit 90,
stop,
93%.
stop. No, stop. No way. No.
No
Okay.
way. Why
No
not?
way. No way. No way. Okay. No way. We're taking massive risk in the market. They're taking no risk. I don't even know how
Right. That is definitely the difference.
I mean, okay, your credit spreads are killing it, dog. Yeah, right. Sure. That's why you're going to be as gray as me in about 2 months if you keep doing it. I mean, come on, we're taking risk in the market. We are taking risk. That is no risk. You cannot go 3 years without a losing day. Okay, what does that have to do with a credit spread?
Nothing.
They're front running flow.
That's
They're buying at 10 and selling at 12. And me and you could never do that because
no.
because even if we had it to do, we'd be dead hitting buttons. There are no buttons. This is all a computer. So like when you talk about quant is completely different. Okay. I'm sure Jane Street has quant, but they also have this other vehicle that basically is a market maker that basically sees customer flow. So,
Exactly.
so
And
they have
then
an
when
inherent
when
advantage.
that liquidity's, I don't even know if they provide liquidity, but I
No,
know
they
that
don't. They
they
don't.
don't even do it. Yeah. And when the market needs it, then those things get shut off real quick.
Right, which is even crazier because when the market goes down, they're not even there to help protect. So that's that's sort of the deal. So anyway, we'll see what happens today. I'm sure Nasdaq will be up 10, 11, 15. Dude, what are they going to do when they have an actual down day? Are they going to cry because it doesn't? It's like my kids. They want to win. They want what is it? They give kids. Everyone gets a trophy. Like when I grew up, you had to fight for that trophy. Now everybody gets a trophy.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Everybody gets an award.
My
It's
friends are now telling me what to do, so we're getting into that stage. Are your friends telling you what to do yet, or no?
no. I mean,
No, not yet. Okay, my friends are already telling me what to do. So
no. I mean, my friends are hiding. My friends are hiding. They're hiding when the market goes down, and they're hiding when the market goes. They just are making money and happy. And as soon as the market goes down, then this thing blows up. All of a
yeah.
sudden, I get like 800 calls. Well, what do I do? How do I hedge? I don't know what I'm doing.
You talk about quant. You know what the best indicator has been all year long? The chirping. When
Yeah.
chirping gets really loud from the retail crowd, and I see it like when, and if my friends are watching, I'm talking to you guys. When you guys tell me what to do, that's how I know the
What
time
do you
is coming.
mean? It hasn't worked yet. They're up 10 days in a row.
It
They're
has
telling you
worked.
what to
No, no, no,
do.
no, no.
You
It
already
has
told me they're telling you. So
every
they're
time
right.
the market goes
I
up.
I bow. I bow to
Take
you.
a picture.
I bow to you, retail trader. Don't ever take a profit. Taking a profit is a bad thing. Have you been taught that? Anyway, I'm only kidding. I wish everyone luck today. I got to get going. Hopefully, we'll get some good trading today, and we'll be back to talk a lot about the Fed tomorrow. Peace.